Oh, okay. Can you hear me clearly though? Hey, what's good? What's going on, everybody? You already know this is, and it's definitely your favorite utmost higher goddess herself. Shark come back at you once again here at the P.E.G podcast, man. It's positive energy generation, because you know we debt for life, choosing the positivity through all the negativity that's going on in the world. Cause life be lifing, okay? It be doing all type of crazy stuff to it, but I be in my bag with artists, public figures, guests from around the world here to inspire you. And man, I really dug deep with this one, man. Not only she's I always say a goddess, you know, I gotta give it up to my black queens, but she's a veteran of the Navy. She's a celebrity chef. I mean, she's done 20 years of experience in catering, so you know she know what she talking about, man. She has hit dishes such as curry, and y'all know I love curry. You feel me? She has vegan options as well. So I really don't want to spoil it. And if you like lamb chops like I do, not pork chop, but lamb chops, then yo, you want to stay around for it, because she got all the healthy tips and everything for you to dive into, and her new book as well. And you like a little spice, you're gonna like this book in your life, man. So I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna bring her on. We got the one and only Miss Shemariah Pradia in the building. How you feeling?
Hey everyone, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hey, I didn't mess it up. I didn't.
You got it right. You got
Hey,
it right.
dang. So look, man, before you get started, man, make sure you follow to help us, encourage us to find more great people such as Miss Shemariah, and artists and public figures and creators around the world that's going to inspire you to live life to the fullest. So let's get into it. I want the people to know a little bit more about you than just a little bit that I gave. You know, they know you're a chef. They know that, you know, you're an African queen, and you ranges from all over, but you're from the Virgin Islands, where I was read in your bio, so you have a little bit of that in your blood, so you have a lot in your blood, so I want to talk about it. So how did all this, first starting off, who is Shemariah Pradia?
Oh, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction about me. I am originally from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. I am Caribbean. We're right outside of Puerto Rico. We're neighbors. Um, I started cooking, as a teenager with my grandmother and my aunts and different family members. And that's where my cooking experience came from. And then I decided to join the Navy. I was a pharmacy tech prior, and then I went into the Navy and I was a corpsman, which equals, for layman terms, we're like LPNs
Ah,
in the regular world.
okay.
And my specialty was in cardiology, some oncology work, and of course, pharmacy. And then I was diagnosed with systemic lupus, so I was medically discharged. And then 2 years after that, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. So you have definitely lived a life full of many different experiences, especially coming from out of service to having to. It wasn't a choice like, I'm going to ETS out. I'm going to get out. PCS out. I'm sorry, ETS out. I'm sorry. I'm get out. You was like, you know what? I have a health condition that I need to take care of, and then you get over that, which is lupus, and then you have to deal with cancer. So let's talk about that. How did that shape you? Coming from being in the military, and you had to switch your career because now you have to deal with lupus, and then later on having to deal with cancer.
So being med boarded, it was a relief for me, especially dealing with lupus, um, because the way that the lupus at the time was affecting my body, it was causing me to have muscle pain, joint pain. I
Jeez.
had bats where I wasn't able to walk. I dealt with some miscarriages, so that led to me deciding to have a hysterectomy, because every time I dealt with my female, time of the month, my menstrual, it was causing me to have severe lupus flare-ups.
Oh.
And so with that became an issue, because where something that lasts a week naturally for your body, when I flared up, I was in the hospital almost every 2 weeks. So it was a relief for me to not be active duty, but then it was sad at the same time because I was sponsored for MESEP, which was the Nurse Officer Program. within being in the military for 2.5 years. So that's a great accomplishment because that doesn't happen for a lot of people. And
Yeah.
for me, I was sponsored by an officer, and she saw my potential and she put me up for board. But then I was diagnosed with this horrific autoimmune disease.
Right.
Um, so I had to relearn to live my life with learning about the lupus. Lupus is very hard to diagnose, and then with having that,
Yes.
it can be a death sentence if
Mm.
it gets out of control because it's a autoimmune disease which causes the bodies to basically fight against its own self. In a better terms, to kind of explain it in a simpler way. And so basically, my healthy cells, my positive things going on with my body, basically is like, oh, this is the good cells, this is the bad cells, and we're doing this
Yeah.
within the body. And we're having systemic lupus. It's the worst form of lupus because basically it attacks your heart, it can attack your blood cells, it can attack your kidneys, it can attack your brain. It can do so many things, your joints, your muscles, and things like that. So when it was affecting me, I first realized I had something called Raynaud's, which basically inside the palm of my hand, if it got cold or temperature change, this part would be completely white and here would be beet red to purple because I wasn't getting the proper circulation. So that was one of the symptoms that I had. Another
Mm.
symptom I was having was the butterfly rashes and rashes and ulcers in my mouth, my scalp, and my face would be itchy, a lot of inflammation, and of those things. And of course, the miscarriages and the challenges I was having with my reproductive system. Once I was diagnosed, then I was having these things where I have something called stiff man syndrome, like you hear what Celine Dion is dealing with. But
Yeah.
I don't have it to that extreme as her, but it causes the muscles to get so rigid and so tight where it it causes problems with walking and movement. So those are the things that I was dealing with while being active duty. And of course, being in the medical field where you're a nurse and you're dealing with patient care and that happens to you, you cannot perform your job. So I was med boarded. And like I said, it was a relief because I was able to get the treatment that I needed one on one more so for the lupus.
Right.
Then, of course, you know, with that. So I had to figure out how to transition from working and being active duty and having a, positive career to
Yeah.
being at home, not doing it. And then I have my children and trying to function and deal with that. And then my mom had to come and help me. So that was the first process of the lupus. And once we got the lupus under control, then breast cancer was a play.
Dang. And that right there is such a mind shift that you have far as like you gotta okay, now you're talking about like to have to stay positive after going
Yeah.
through this whole deal. Career change, body change, health issues change. And again, that goes play with the mental. And now you're like, all right, I got through that and now I have to face cancer. Still dealing with okay, having to be put out of the
With the
military.
lupus,
Now
because the
right.
lupus didn't go away.
Exactly. So now you're dealing with lupus and cancer, breast cancer, and to be exact, and you're still dealing with getting put up, getting med boarded out, and having to deal with career change. So how did this lead to your culinary journey? You know, like that's a lot for you to be like, now sitting in front of us being a celebrity chef. Like, how did we get to that point?
With the breast cancer, when the breast cancer occurred, I basically just thought it was like a nodule that I found, a lump. And then it went from just having a lump to them saying,
Right.
okay, well, you need a double mastectomy. Then it went from the double mastectomy to, oh, wait, we didn't get all the cancer. So the cancer spread to my lymph nodes. And then I've had a total of 7 surgeries outside of the original removing of my breast, dealing with reconstruction and different processing with the lupus and those different things. So with that happening to me, that was a healing process within itself. So we're talking about from 2012 being diagnosed with lupus. Well, I was diagnosed with lupus in 2011, October, after I had my third son. And then we're talking about from 2011 of diagnosing with the lupus to being med boarded in 2012, 2014, be diagnosed with the breast cancer, and up until dealing with the challenges of reconstruction and trying to figure out why my body was rejecting the implants and everything, we're all the way up to 2000 and like want to say 16
Yeah.
with that process and different things that's happening to me from dealing with the cancer and stuff on up to healing, going through the process of everything. And then we had COVID. So I didn't work, didn't do anything. I try to do little things and try to get myself back in emotions or stuff. And then COVID happened. And I was
Right.
the house and I was the friend that's always cooking and always entertaining and always having people over. So then we get to COVID. And that's like what, 2020? So
2020.
I'm feeling better. I'm like, yes, I'm back to normal. Let's do this. Then boom, we got COVID. And so then I noticed that with me being Caribbean and the restaurants closing down and different things like that, people wanted the food. So my friends was like, "Oh, are you cooking today? What you got going on? Can we come over?" I'm like, "You gotta wear your mask," because I was on base housing and it was a small community, and the people that were there, we were always around each other. So
Right.
I came up with a bright idea. I was like, "Okay, restaurants closed and everybody keep asking me to cook. Why not create something out of this pandemic?" And
True.
then so the business originally was called Kept Caribbean.
Camp
And
Caribbean.
then later, after I moved to Atlanta area, I was like, yeah, I don't really like that name. I like doing entertainment. I like people. I like hosting. What can I give it a broader name? So I renamed the business
Right.
Kept Entertainment.
Camp
And then the
Entertainment.
kept part came from my name. So my name is Shemariah. It means kept by God or Jehovah Guards. So I said, I want part of me in the name of the business because if it wasn't for God's grace, I would
Mm.
not,
Come
be here.
through. Let's go.
So that's where we got the kept part from because that's part of the meaning of my name. And then entertainment because I like to entertain, I like to host, I love people. And so the business was created out of COVID. I started off doing pop-ups and I would sell plates, I would do different things. And then just I got to Atlanta and God just blessed me by putting me in rooms with people and names and here I am.
I mean, here you are. Like it's so crazy. Like to hear you say, chapter of my life closed because I was battling through lupus, and then on top of that, while going through that, I had to battle cancer. And like you said, now I'm feeling better. I'm coming back. I gave my second wind of life, and COVID happened. Like a whole shift in the world happened, and you're like, okay, what do I do? I can't do this, and I have to take care of myself, be mindful of my immunity, and still try to feel purposeful. And boom, God put you around people where you could be blessed 10 times fold. And I love the meaning behind your name of it. Like I said, Kept Industries. You're like, I keep putting God first because that's exactly what it is. You keep putting your faith in God and He's blessing you 10 times fold. And let's pause for a second to talk about the clientele. In your bio, I saw that your clientele ranges from a lot of people. So I'm just gonna name off a few people that you had you display. You had a model actress Cynthia Bailey from Housewives. You was able to as well Rich Dollars. You also had Damian Hall. You had actor Palmer Williams from Tyler Perry House of Pain, and you was able to do the Super Bowl, BET Awards. So it's like, hold on, okay, how did you balance the excitement from starting off where you knew where you start off the bottom, didn't know if you was gonna live or not, to now putting life inside of a creation and you seeing this around celebrities? Like, how are you able to cater to those celebrities with different high profiles?
The celebrities are regular people just like
Regular,
me and you. They're
right?
people. It's just I don't even know. I mean, with the whole moving to the Atlanta area, it really started off me going to a pop-up and something that Cynthia hosted. And then I went there to
Okay.
network and then I did some things. It was very short-lived, but I did some things for her wine bar. And then I kept trying to go to different pop-ups and different things and trying to, put myself in rooms where I can advertise my business. I wasn't necessarily looking to work with celebrities or have certain celebrities as clientele and friends. I just really was able to be in those rooms
Mm.
and go to just different things. But I wanted to mention, doing things with I went to an event that Miguel Wilson hosts, the Polo
Miguel,
Classic,
listen.
where he raises scholarships for children to teach them how to do polo. And Lisa Nicole, from was on Married to Medicine. She's a fashion designer and she has a boutique and a clothing store. She was like, let me style you when she, heard my story and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I'm not sure. I want to go here and go to these rooms. And she's like, yes, let
Yeah.
me introduce you to these people and be here. So I let her style me and she put me in some nice, gorgeous clothes that I didn't think that I would be able to wear because back to the breast cancer story, I'm flat. So I'm a flatty, as they call it in our world. So I'm not reconstructed. I don't have anything. So I was like, formal clothes, I'm kind of shying away from it. I don't think I'm gonna be looking nice in these clothes. I don't know. And she was just like, let me style you. And she introduced me to them. So I got introduced to Miguel Wilson and his wife. And, I started doing things with them. And then as it grew, I'm in these rooms, I'm going to these events and I'm meeting more and more people. So it's kind
Mm.
of like how it started. And then I had a friend, she's a shoe designer. Um, she was taking me to things, introducing me to people. And, you know, as you network and you become more and more in these rooms, then you become more independent. And then
Yeah.
you're meeting people on your own. It's not necessarily somebody's holding your hand anymore because you're making the way for yourself. It kind of just like they say, it just takes like one person to introduce you or put you in a room.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sort of how it,
Hey, that's God right
happened
there. That's God right there. Continue to bless you.
that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I that is so powerful right there. Like, man, and that's just like, in your time of struggle, in your time of need,
Mhm.
in the hardships that we all go through, you never know what that blessing, that, like you said, that one moment will be. Like, to know that, oh, if you had a gave up right there, like, I give up. Everything is on me. I'm going to mentally let my mind overpower me, and I'm just going to just live till I die. You would not have been able to see this. You would not have been able to be in those places and be, like you said, in Miguel's presence and in the presence of celebrities like Cynthia Bailey. So I thank you for pushing forward, because there is people who are going through health issues, and a lot of time mentally they just don't know where to keep going at. I'm one of those people. Like, I was in service as well, and I got hurt overseas and through an autoimmune, and it took me almost out of here. And same thing, career shift. That's mentally something that you have to go through, especially if you had your mind already put on something 20 plus years, and now you're like, oh, my health is the reason why. And you wouldn't think that, because a lot of people think, oh, well, you in service, you work out every day. It
But
still doesn't prevent
that
you.
doesn't have anything, and I tell people that all the time. If that you can work out all day, but if something is inside of your body that's either it's genetic or you be exposed. A lot of times people say, "Oh, well, we're in the military." Do you not realize when you serve your country and you sign up to do this because you either look at it as a job or education opportunity, or you just want to serve or you want to help people? A lot of times what happens is you're exposed to so many things. You can be exposed
Yes.
to a chemical, you can get an immunization that throws your body out of whack. Like me, it was an immunization that
Same.
was to
Yep.
protect me from other things because I was in the medical field that set my body off.
Yep.
Something simple as a chickenpox vaccine that they didn't think that I was immune to set my immune system off,
Right.
and it just spiraled out of control. I had bilateral PEs. I found out that I had a sickle cell trait that I never knew anything about it. I had a blood clotting issue. So
Hey.
it's a blessing that I was in the military because I had the proper insurance and the proper means and the
Yeah.
proper medical care. But imagine if I was not.
Man, you would not get the help.
It maybe if I didn't have a medical background or a pharmaceutical background or whatever, I probably would not be here. Even with the breast cancer stuff, I went to them and I said, "Hey, I find a lump. I'm an African American woman. Oh, you have dense breasts. Y'all breasts are created differently." They did not want to biopsy me. I had to advocate for the biopsy. So if I didn't advocate for myself, or if I wasn't the fighter or I have the tenacity that I have, in my life, I would not be here. So what I tell people is, even though you have something, I advocate for lupus, I advocate for breast cancer. I've traveled through the Caribbean and I've dedicated my time in Jamaica to help them. I was supposed to go to Senegal to work for a year, but last year I dealt with recurrence.
Wow.
Thank God, by the grace of God, it didn't go as far as what they thought it was. They told me that the cells had shrank, but for 6, 7 months, I
Mm.
was going back and forth to the doctor just last fall up until end of January, beginning of February. And I'm still going to doctor. But what I tell people is you have to advocate for yourself. You can't sit
Advocate for
here
yourself.
and let people say, oh no, you're this color, this is what it is. If I say I'm in pain, that's what I'm saying. If I say this is what's happening to me, this is what's happening to me. But at the end of the day, I really feel like God gives us something or we go through something and it's us going through it, but at the end of the day, it might not be for us. It's for us to have a voice to tell somebody else, hey, this is what I went through, this is what I ate, this is what
Right.
I did, this is what um my experience did, this is what I learned from it. Because even when I was going through breast cancer, right, I'll say this. Um I asked the doctor, I said, what is it going to feel like to get the chemo? What is it going to do? What is it not going to do? And she looked at me and she's like, I don't know. But that was her honest
That
answer
was
because
honest.
she don't know. She never had cancer. I'm just a doctor. I'm just treating you. I don't know. I can't, tell you. And I was like, you know what? I need to do something about this. I need to speak about it. I need to host things. Maybe I need to help somebody else. Maybe somebody else is going through something like this. Maybe it's the spouse. Maybe it's the caregiver. Maybe it's something. Because at the time, my caregiver was my ex-husband. He was a medical personnel, but he couldn't deal watching me go through it. And,
Yeah.
we went through a divorce and stuff, but I watched from the standpoint of being the mom going through it, the patient, the medical person that's no longer a medical person that somebody didn't want to listen to. I was the mom of 3 kids. I was somebody's wife. I'm somebody's daughter. I have a family history of this stuff. I was getting mammograms and stuff since I was 29, and it was not picking up on those things. It was a biopsy and me advocating for myself. So, what if somebody else is going through it? So, I use what I go through health wise as a platform to help somebody else because
Mm.
I know that, yeah, it happened to me, but maybe I can help somebody else.
Mm.
And that directs me back to my food because my food is also a ministry for me.
Yeah, I want to actually highlight the food part. I want to talk to you more too, like especially once we're done about it, because I also been telling my wife, like, I also deal with the autoimmune, and as you can see, it's no, I'm now dealing with my thyroid, and that has never been a thing for me. I've never had to deal with my thyroid, but since like you said, had just one little vaccine set off a whole lot of stuff, and it's like I want to know what not to put in my body. I want to know with the autoimmune how to take care of my body properly. We've been doing vegan options and Mediterranean options, like what is the best options for me. So I saw where in your recipes you also do vegan options and you do healthy options on all your plates to be able, like you said, be an advocate of a voice. So the main reason, as you said, you did it was to show people the healthy options. But why did you decide, like, okay, even though I am catering for others, I'm still going to stay healthy? Why did you decide to stay within that realm, even though, they could have picked unhealthy choices, but you put healthy choices on your lineup. So why did you do that?
I would say this because I'm Caribbean, we raised on soursop bush tea, lemongrass, all these
Yeah.
we have that as a culture, and I get excited because you hear my accent.
Yeah.
I'm excited. But we grew up on sugar apple. We grew up on all these different fruits and vegetables and like herbs and spices that we have in our food. Something simple as turmeric. Everybody's eating curry chicken, but they don't understand the curry, the turmeric, the spices that go in there, the coriander, all those things all have some form of medical health properties. Like
Mm.
something simple as cilantro, right? We put
Right.
cilantro on top of our tacos if we get a street taco, right?
Yeah.
people don't know, cilantro is an anti-inflammatory. Cilantro helps with pain. So I started eating it. I started looking for stuff because with having a stiff man syndrome and the stuff with my muscles and things, I would lose a lot of potassium and magnesium and things like that. It's so much food in there. People like, oh, eat a banana. I like banana in food, but I don't like chewing a banana.
Ah.
I learned that avocado has 10 times more potassium in it from a banana. So I would make guacamole. I would play with the spices. So now we have our guacamole. Our guacamole has what? You have tomatoes, you have lime or lemon, you have the avocado itself, you got the cilantro, you got all these different things in it. Look at all those properties. My body is healing itself just from eating those things.
And I hate cilantro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, ugh, cilantro. Get it out of here. Take it off my taco. And just to know that now, like, I'm like, dang, I may go throw that maybe one or two pieces.
Cilantro, you can blend the cilantro up and stuff.
I never
So
thought about that though.
in the stuff. So it just really depends. Like it doesn't have to be a big leaf of the cilantro or whatever. You can maybe boil the cilantro. You could drink it as a tea. You can make a tea. You can put it in. It's so many different ways that you can play with food, and
Right.
that's why I love what I do because I sit here and I create the different meals and the different things, and I put healthy things in the food. And a lot of times people are like, "Oh, the food is healthy. This you put this spice in it, yeah." But you can play with food is so
You
beautiful. Where I feel like God put food on the earth. He put these spices here, so you can play with food. You can.
You
It's
can
so
do a lot.
much.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah, yeah.
much.
It's two.
Yeah.
We're almost getting closer toward the end, but there's two more questions I want to dive into. I am here by myself with my back end. My producer's not here, so give me a second. I'm gonna reset my camera, and then we'll go right into the last two questions. Okay.
No problem.
All right. 1 second. 1 second.
Hmm.
Like you said, food, all type of spices and herbs can lead to different type of flavors and can enhance your food as well as enhance your healthy status, your health status. You as a person that's like you said, going through all these things, going through the ups and downs, and being the strong person you are. You even went through a divorce. Like let's be real, you went through a whole divorce while you was going through your health problems, and still saying, I want to make this opportunity for other people. I don't want to just think about myself. Even though I'm going through this, I want to be an advocate and a voice for somebody else. Like, do you know how strong you got to be able to do that for somebody? Like, I'm giving you your flowers. You thank you
Thank you so much
because
for the flowers because sometimes I sit here and I'm like, I'm strong. Everybody always say you're strong. And I'm like, sometimes I don't feel like I'm strong because even the strong people, like people like to say, okay, people are strong, but even the strong people, we still have our bats with, you know,
yeah,
having the health issues that I have. I suffer from anxiety. I have anxiety really bad. And I try to look for holistic approaches because the anxiety medicine makes me feel yucky.
it
And
does.
so I it's a process. Everything is a process. Just because somebody is smiling and you see them, whatever, we're going through stuff with people too, but you just still have to dig in. You have to, pray. You have to seek, outside resources. You have to still, even though I'm saying healthy food help me, you still have to go to the doctor. You
You
still have
do.
to go to counseling. You still have to
Yeah.
do all those things. I am not the one that's going to sit here and tell people, don't go to the doctor. Just get this spice and use this herb. And no, I had chemo. I went through chemo. Chemo damaged both my hips. I am a double hip replacement survivor.
Jeez, I'm
And I'm still
sorry.
going through stuff. But I'm not going to ever fix my mouth and say, oh, don't do chemo. Oh, do everything holistic. Don't go to the doctor. You will never hear me say that. I feel like that is very ignorant. And I feel like at the end of the day, you still have to weigh all your options and you still have to follow the right path. God didn't say, oh, yeah, I put these things on earth, but then still don't go to the doctor and be ignorant or not have the capacity to sit there and find out what's wrong. You have to
Right.
find out what's wrong with you to know how to take care of you.
So
You
it's
also have to go to the doctor and get their advice because, yes, a doctor went to school for that, but they're still practicing and they're still learning. I'm not going to say that they're all perfect because we're people.
right.
But at the end of the day, you have to go find out what's wrong with you. Listen to somebody say, "Oh, yeah, I don't want to go get my breast checked because I'm afraid." I tell people all the time, you're going to be real afraid if you find out that you're dying and you could have lived
Because I
and you
went to the
didn't go to
doctor.
that doctor.
Right, right.
Find out what's wrong. You get the medical advice. You try what they're saying. And at the same time, try what they're saying, but at the same time, figure out what works for you within your own household, within you. Still do your research and find out how you can do things different to make you a better person.
I
Still
love
exercise
it.
and still work out. I don't like exercising and working out. Why I don't like it? It hurts because of the lupus. It hurts because of the fibromyalgia. It hurts because now I have a hip replacement. I can't run and play sports like I used to. But at the same time, I can still go for a walk. I can
Right,
still be active. I
right.
can still go in the pool. I can still go on some water. So there's so many different things that you can do to make you better.
And I
That's
love
all, Mom.
that. I love that you've been that voice. Before we get down to our last 2 minutes, I want to highlight your book. You know, you're talking about you have to do this. Your book, you're not only putting spices on the food, but you spicing it up and you giving it out to the public in your new book, The Spice of Life, Memoir and Recipes. And you know, you're telling us like it's more to just cooking. You have to okay, you can't run, walk. Okay. If you can't walk, man, take a scooter. Like get outside, get that breath of fresh air. But why did you think it was important before we close this out? Why did you think it was important to put out the Spice of Life memoir and recipes? Not just for you, but for your reason. Why did you decided to write that book?
I'm tired of people asking me when I'm gonna write my book. People say, "Well, I have so much information." They say like I'm rich with information from the experiences with my health and the processes I've gone through and the trial and errors. I used to be on almost 15 different types of medication to the
Jeez,
point where the
no.
doctor was like, "We don't know what medication is causing this symptom. You got to go cold turkey." "Oh, we don't
No.
know. Are you gluten? Is it gluten? Is it this? Is that? Is that?" I was gluten free at one point, but it's nothing. I don't have celiac disease. I don't have anything. But having an autoimmune process and an autoimmune disease, anything can happen. I can smell a scent and it can trigger the lupus. Okay. So it's not an easy road and it's not an easy process, but everybody was like, "Why don't you share your experience and write the book?" So the beginning part of the book, I have it as a memoir. I just basically just broke down like my journey with lupus, with breast cancer, how it affected me. But then I twist it and I turn it around and say, even though you have this, even though they say this, you can use your life experiences to help somebody else.
I
You
love
can
it.
want to live your dream. I love to cook. Why not make, money or have an income off of something that I like doing? I can't go back in the hospital and work. I mean, I can, but it's too risky.
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to go back there.
Patients like that I used to, you know? So why not turn it into something? Okay, yeah, you have this nursing experience, you have this pharmacy experience. Why don't you put it in your food? That's part of being a medical person. That's part of wellness and health. Why not do nutrition? Why not do education?
Right.
So in the book, I basically talk about my journey and what I went through, how I overcame that journey, how I still, I'm doing what I want to do. Then, in the second part of the book, where I talk about the health spices and stuff, I researched and did stuff where I have 38 spices and 38 things that you can use, from cinnamon to mango leaves to marijuana.
Mm.
Some people are just like, "Oh, you Christian, you talk about marijuana." Yes, marijuana helps me a lot.
Ah.
It helps with anxiety. It helps with the inflammation in my body. It helps with pain receptors. Sometimes I have seizures and I have neurological fires. It helps calm those things down. It does so many things. But people sometimes, because you don't understand something, you have to be educated on it. And
Right.
it works. It works faster than me taking a muscle relaxer.
It does. It does.
So
So
I,
no, go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
So I speak about all those things in that one part of the book, and then the recipes are a bonus. So the recipes with my culture and my background and some things that I make, I said, why not give the readers a treat? So not only do you understand what I went through in the beginning, you have these spices and herbs that you can research and get some type of help with learning about them and seeing how they benefit your body. And then you got these wonderful recipes and drinks and different things at the end. So I think it's a bonus book. It's
I
like
love it. I do.
health, wellness, somebody's story to motivate you, and then you learn to cook. You can play with it with your family, learn to do different things, create meals, and I hope it helps somebody. That's really all I want. I just really want to just help others.
And I think it's great that you're wanting to help either people. All right, man, we're back. We're back. So, you were sharing about the spices and, how it was very important for you in this book to not only make sure people know that it's not just food, you can't just rely on the spices, but you're being open about your journey and it's important for you to give back. So, this is your way of giving back to people. What would you say throughout your whole journey? Because you have faced a lot. I ain't gonna lie. I really needed this. You never know when you come across people how much you need the message. I really needed this because I deal with autoimmune myself, and I have a liver autoimmune disease, so I deal with it hard. And a lot of times I don't meet a lot of people that's like relatable, but I needed this. I needed that push to just listen to you talk about your food, just listen to you talking about through the down times and the hard times that you had. What out of all that, what experience, what challenge that you could say question your faith the most, and how did you turn that around? Because we're all doubtful. So through all the ups and downs that you had, which one would you say was more challenging that you had to like flip your mindset to keep your faith?
I think when I got the lupus diagnosis, when I got it, I asked the doctor, I said, I'm gonna die. Um, and the reason why I asked that because like I knew other people that had lupus, and within 2 years of them living with lupus, they was dying.
Yeah. Jeez.
And they were really
One of my friends, very close friend of mine, she passed away, and her diagnosis with lupus was really literally after she had her son. Her son was 2 years old when she died. Um,
Wow.
so for me, I really thought that would die.
and then I just saw my kids, and I was just like, okay, I have three sons. They're relatively small. Um, I don't want to leave here.
Right.
I need to be here for them. So that was part of my fight was I didn't want to die. Um, and I wanted to be here for my kids. And just knowing that I had to live for somebody else. I mean, not that my life is not important and not like that. Not important, but
Yeah.
I had people that I helped make and I had to live for them. I wanted to see my kids grow up. I wanted to be here for them. So my children helped me fight. So
Mm.
I just wanted to live.
Right.
So I needed to be here. I didn't know why, it happened to me, but I know that I want to live. And I love my life and I love my kids. I need to be here.
And you here. And we need you. We need you. The world needs you, man. I would have never got this message from you if you didn't keep going. So I'm glad your kids was a very good symbolization for you to keep going. Some people do accept defeat in those times of dark moments, but you didn't. So thank you. So now that we can see it and we can hear it, you're definitely a walking testimony. And I want so many more people out there to get in touch with you and your food, because it's healing. Like that's what you're doing. You was going through a period where you was dying, but you're healing now, and now you're putting that out to the world. So your purpose was healing. So you, as an addition to your culinary talents, you're passionate and inspiring and motivating people through their food and healthy lifestyle. What advice, I would say, that would you give for individuals looking to make healthier choices in their food? And how do you put this in your business?
So what?
What I got from the after writing the book, and I've talked to different people, and I was talking to one of my friends, and I said I really want to do like different little segments on nutrition, even if I start doing where I'm showcasing my food, or today like I pick something. Say for instance, I do something and I said my focal point today is diabetes, right?
Yeah.
So I go in there, I pick something simple as mango leaves helps reduce the blood sugar content in your body, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I could do something on educating about that. We're African American people. That's something that we suffer high blood pressure, all those things. You
True.
know, maybe I could do something on that and do an education. But I
Yeah.
really want to start doing segments or doing forums as far as like maybe with lupus, breast cancer. It don't even really matter what you're dealing with health wise, but just start having forums or having like small groups where we can do education, where
Yeah.
we can teach, because that's really important. Or even if I do something like what you're doing, like where you're interviewing me, and maybe something I've said in this podcast helps somebody,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
or maybe somebody who's diagnosed with breast cancer and they feel like their whole world is on their shoulders. Maybe they're in grief. Maybe they feel alone. Maybe they don't know how to express it. Maybe they don't know how to tell somebody. Even the same thing with lupus. Um, Maybe this helps someone. As long as it's helping someone, I'm happy because I want somebody to live too, you know?
Mm.
And this is my second, third, fourth wind of life. So
I just
I just want to help someone, and
You
I'm
are.
thankful for your platform and what you
Thank you.
do. And, we talked about my business and me being a celebrity chef. That's this in my world.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great that I feed celebrities or I've been in rooms with them, but that's this part of my life. That's
Wonderful.
not even my my goal. That's just a bonus. That's like, that's a little star on my shoulder. But my main focus is how can I bless someone with the talent that God gave me? I have evolved it into something else. And how can I bless you with my presence? How can I help you with something? How can I excite your palate with the things that I create? But at the same time, I'm helping you stay healthy, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So the food tastes good. Yeah, great. But, you know, how can you be healthy, become a healthier person, you know, with the experiences that, I try to provide to my clients and my customers?
And I know it's good because I was looking at your portfolio, your pages, and I was like, oh man, I'm about to eat this phone, man. It looked real good, and you don't really see a lot of food that are healthy that looks pleasing. And you're Caribbean, so I'm like, I know this is smack. This like you ain't even got to tell me like, do you think it's smack? No, it's smack. I can smell it through the phone. Like that's what that. So
Thank you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. Yeah, you're making food that still tastes good, but is healthy. And that's one thing a lot of people can't seem to. When you're going through health problems, you can't seem to tear away from food that tastes good, but it's not bland because diabetics get tired of hearing don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat this. What can I eat? High blood pressure.
it just has to be a balance.
Balance. And that's what I tell people. Like, I
Oh,
have people like, oh, I need to cut the carbs out, but you still need carbs.
you still need
Like,
carbs. You still need
You
carbs.
still need certain things, even if
you're not eating the pasta or you're not eating the rice. You can have something like quinoa or brown rice that's still carbs, but it's on a healthier, balance. You can still have potatoes, it has carbs, but you can have it within limitations. You don't have to cut out the things to be healthy. Healthy is a whole well-being. Healthy is how you think. Healthy is what you put in
Mm,
your body. Healthy is if you're going to exercise. Healthy is if, yeah, I'm depressed today, but am I going to get out the bed?
yeah. Yeah.
all those things can be healthy.
You can have what you like. Everything is in moderation. Just
I
like
love it.
being diabetic. Yeah, you can have
True.
some form of sugar, but let's do it in moderation. I didn't say sit there and eat a whole cake.
Right. A whole box of
Well,
cookies, you know.
yeah,
You can eat fruits. You can eat like I'm on this cheesecake tip now, right? And then I figured out that I know how to do it.
Yeah.
But you can have a cheesecake and it not be overbearingly sweet. You
Right.
can add fruits. You can add cinnamon, vanilla, nutmeg. You can add your spices to your food and still make it to what you know what you want. You can get a fresh peach and you might not put syrup on it or something, but you can sprinkle a little bit of, like, say you're a diabetic, right? You have the cheese from the cheesecake, the sweetness from that, right? You can put fresh peaches on top of that. And you can sprinkle cinnamon on there. That little bit of cinnamon that you sprinkle on top of that peach, it's helping your diabetes
Wow.
or your sugar levels or whatever. So there's just, you can do things, but just to me, just do things within moderation.
Moderation. And
you know,
I like that you're telling
whatever you
people that. Yeah, in moderation. Stop being greedy. Basically, it's what you tell. Stop being greedy. You know. Stop.
I
I,
agree, but just whatever you do, this portions and moderations to it. Say you want your doctor say don't eat this, right?
yeah.
Say, let me give something like with lupus, they tell us that we're not really supposed to have ginger, right?
Right.
I'm a wild card. I eat
Ginger. I put ginger in so much stuff. I don't necessarily think the ginger flares me up, but everybody's body is different. You
Right.
understand? They say don't
Yeah.
eat bean sprouts. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I can't have anything with estrogen. I can't have soy. You understand? Because of the part of the type of breast cancer that I have.
Oh,
So
wow.
I don't eat tofu I don't eat anything that's soy based. I don't drink soy milk. Because my body can't have it. But there's other things that you know what I mean? There's other things that you can substitute things with. Okay, you like potatoes, get a sweet potato. I'm Caribbean. Eat the yam. So, the yellow yam, that's sweet, but it's still a starch, but it's not, necessarily overbearingly starchy. So it's just different things you could do, different substitutes that you can make with your food, and you'll be fine.
Okay. So.
But
Okay.
I won't
So.
necessarily say greedy.
I'm just saying
okay,
that's what my grandma called. She said y'all greedy. So if people want to get tapped in with you, know more about some events, catch you on some pop ups and stuff, where can they find you? Shout out your social media.
my page is called KEPTENT.catering. And if you want to book, you want to know anything, you want to see the creative dishes that I'm making, you guys can follow me on kepentertainment.catering on IG, but it's KEPTENT.catering. And that's how you can find me.
I know you see me over here in the back, just fighting my computer. It always happen, I swear. But I'm definitely totally tapped in. So make sure
Okay, you're still getting it done though. You're
I'm
still getting it
still
done.
getting it done. It happens that's what people don't see, the behind the scene. I be back here fighting with the camera, with the cords and the lights. This plant right here decided to fall. You can't even see that part. I'm over here fighting with it. But yes, man, make sure you guys go tap in with her and Camp said again, Camp.
Kept entertainment.
There you
It's a
go.
business. The website is on my Instagram page. It is KEPTENT.catering, and that's how you can find me. Stay
Yeah.
tuned for the book. I'm still working out the kinks, but it's coming soon. I want it to be here soon, um, so I can get y'all educated and get y'all healthy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the first one to buy it. Just let you know, cause I'm trying out everything. That's just kind of where I'm at in life. I'm trying every little healthy option. I love healthy food either anyway, but to make it taste good, I got you. Be right there. So make sure y'all go check out the book. Is coming soon. The Spice of Life, memoir recipes. Man, I already know it's gonna be good. Man, she sat here and told you some great things. And again, you can't be lazy and keep crying about what you want. She went and got what she wanted through breast cancer and lupus, and still dealing with these things, and still telling you, I'm a survivor. I'm on top, like, because she is. I'm here. I'm here to stay. I'm not going nowhere. I want to live. You want to live. So all you got to do is take that step. Take that step right now, okay? If nobody told y'all today, tomorrow, yesterday that they love you, dang, bro, I love you. Stop crying. I love you. Miss Shemariah, she loves you.
I love you too, guys.
And we here to inspire you every day of the day. All you gotta do is follow our pages all over that she gave to you, and you can follow her and continue to be inspired, man. Thank y'all, and we out of here, man. We gotta go. She gotta go do some more cooking. You know, I'm gonna go to her house, and you can't go. I'm gonna go. You can't go, okay?
Well,
I'm gonna go.
thank you for having me. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure and such a blessing. I really appreciate what you're doing with your platform.
Thank you.
You keep getting through that autoimmune too.
I am.
Everybody's story is a story. And the way that you walk your story and walk, your miles, it blesses somebody. Sometimes we don't think that somebody's looking or paying attention, but they paying attention.
Thank you. And I need to hear that because I have days too, just like you be saying, like, oh, I be going through these days and I don't feel like I can get through it. But it's always somebody that comes to let me know the right thing. And today was you. So thank you for being that vessel that I needed to keep going. And hopefully this is blessing somebody else's that's listening. Hopefully it bless you, and share with a friend, because you don't know what that friend is literally going through. Okay. We love y'all. And hey, I'm gonna let you have your day. Thank you. See you again. Yay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Without you, none of this would have been possible. This podcast room, the interviews, nothing. So I want to say thank you from the P.E.G podcast family to you. It means a lot. All right, we got more shows coming, more merch coming, more interviewers coming. I mean, we got a lot of things in our bag coming. You don't want to miss it. And hey, I may be country, but one thing I want to say, don't judge me, judge your mama. And we'll see you here next time with the P.E.G podcast. Positive energy generation. Let's go.